How's it going, everyone? So for today's video, we're going to be talking about the new game mode that was added about a week ago, actually, and it is Checkmate. So Checkmate, I believe, was announced that it was going to be a brand new game mode this season, and then they actually brought it in last week. Checkmate is a game mode where it is primarily focused on weapon and gunplay rather than abilities. So your ability cooldown is reduced by, or increased, I guess, by a lot. And then your special ammunition is brought in as a transmat that happens over time. So the way it works is that your special ammo is charged over time like an ability. If you get kills, the special ammo transmat will increase further by each kill that you get. So I love this idea because this makes it seem that you get special if you're good, and if you have to earn it. You're just not given it. So I love that idea for a game mode. And then the other thing that Checkmate does is everybody's health is increased, and that makes it so that some weapons kill times are longer than what they usually are. I don't know the exact numbers on a lot of weapons kill times, but they both increased health and weapon damage. So it kind of balanced out to being just a little bit of an increase to kill time. Like 140s are a 3-tap head, 1-tap body. 180 hand cannons are still a 4-tap, which is awesome. And then something like auto rifles and everything. I haven't tested a whole lot of weapon types, but I do know that it's all kind of brought together a little bit better than what the actual normal game is. So the point of this video is to talk about why I think that Checkmate should be the new normal. I think that Checkmate needs to be the new normal for competitive PvP because this is the best feeling that Destiny 2 has been in a long time. Something that Destiny needs very badly, at least for the competitive scene, is a much better competitive type game. Like, Destiny 2 is not a competitive game, yet they sell Trials and the Crucible comp system as a competitive game, and it is not at all. There's way too many gimmicks, there's way too many this and that. There's these weapons that, like Devil's Ruin, for example, has a charged sidearm that can kill from out to, like, what, 15, 16, what feels like 17 meters out. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that a weapon can do that fast. Nothing can compete with it if you charge it the right way. Weapons like Jotun, where if you can charge it, it's just a charged weapon that one-tap tracking rocket. Like, that's the thing about Destiny 2 from an outsider's perspective or a different video game's perspective, is that it is not a competitive game. It is very gimmicky. So Checkmate does a lot to help with the ability side of that. I know that I mentioned weapons, and that's still a problem. At least when the case of special weapons, it's at least helped or fixed because of the special ammo transmat. But no matter what, they're still, if they want to make this the new norm and make Destiny more of a competitive shooter, they're going to have to bring down or hone in a lot of the weapons, such as Monarch. They definitely helped with Monarch. Monarch is definitely in a much better spot than it was. Something like Wishender, like, go into a different video game and find a weapon that just gives you wall hacks. Literally just wall hacks. There's no other game like it. So I don't really know what they need to do in that area, and I'm not really speaking for that, but I am speaking for the fact that Checkmate needs to be the new normal. It needs to be the new game mode, or take over Trials and competitive PvP. The reason why a lot of people might not like that is because of a lot of what Destiny's PvP is the unique on how it's gimmicky or how the abilities come into play. And I do think that if they do implement Checkmate as a new norm, then they do need to make it so that the ability charge is a little bit faster. I definitely like how it's honed down a little bit, but I think it's maybe a bit too much in Checkmate. But I actually would be okay with it. I'd be totally okay with it because I love that I get to a point where I'm like, wow, I actually have to focus on playing smart. I don't get to just have a dodge to get me out of the encounter or an ability to save me. I actually have to use my brain and play the map right and play my weapon and my ranges. Like, it makes you realize just how watered down the gameplay's become with abilities, forcing everyone to rely on them. So I think that Checkmate with the slower ability charge time is awesome. I think that they could maybe just go, I don't know exactly how I feel about the whole health being higher and kill times being longer, I'm totally okay with the way that it is normally. So if they do bring Checkmate into regular or into comp and trials, they should just keep weapon damage, and player health the exact same as what it was before, because I think that in and of itself is in a good spot right now. But yeah, they did mention how they wanted the PvP strike team is going to take player feedback to fix the game, and I think this is something that we really need to push, because it will severely improve the health of Trials of Osiris and competitive Crucible. I know that competitive Crucible probably does better than Trials, but Trials would be so much nicer if we could just have it where it was like Checkmate, because so many people run into Trials relying on their abilities. You got Antius wards being fixed, but still, just the concept of people relying on Antius ward, shoulder charged, shotgun rushing. You got people relying on something like Stompies. People aren't going to be using Stompies because the second you accidentally use your dodge, you're not going to get your speed boost forever. And then you got people relying on Ahamkaras. Now that's the other problem. You take away the abilities and make it so the ability charge time is a lot longer, you take away half the exotics in the game. So I totally understand that point of view, but I still am like, I would rather have it where the ability charge time is much longer, and deal with what I did is I used something like Knucklehead Radar, because you don't have to rely on any ability. Beforehand, I had Worm Husk, so I had to use my dodge to heal me, but if you don't have your dodge very often, then Worm Husk just sits dormant for a long time. So I used something like Knucklehead Radar. If you wanted to really, really bad, I guess you could get away with using Stompies. Just never dodge, but know that if you do dodge, your exotic's going to be sitting in the dust for a long time. So something like, I mean, on Hunters, Oath Keepers, you got Knucklehead Radar, you got super exotics for Titans, you've got, I guess, again, Antius wards, even though it's getting nerfed, which is very much needed, but that's another topic. You know, you can kind of look at it like with with Warlocks, you could use something like Ophidian Aspect. You can get away with something like Chromatic Fire even to increase your weapons. For Titans, you can go with Peacekeepers for your SMGs. Just a lot of different options that you can go for that aren't ability centric. And again, I totally understand where, or even Mask of the Quiet, or One-Eyed Mask, I meant, sorry. I totally understand where people come from, where they were making the argument that you take out a lot of exotics, but I would much rather play a Destiny 2 PvP experience where abilities are slown and people get to rely on their gunplay and their actual brain rather than just spamming abilities. So yeah, Checkmate Survival is extremely fun. They extended the lives, making it longer so you actually have a chance to charge your special ammo. And then it's just really, really good game mode. It's probably the best game mode I've played in Destiny in a long time. I want to say ever, because it just makes you realize that it puts the game into more of a competitive scene. It makes it feel more, like I said, like I've been repeating, it's just more weapon centric, and you actually have to strategize. You can't just run in with a gimmick and be a one-trick pony. So yeah, I really enjoy that. A lot of fun. I really hope that they take this player feedback. I hope that they look at what people are saying. I hope that people petition for this being the new normal. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.